Immortality Season 5 Episode 34. Fang Han returns to Yuhua Sect, showcasing his strength in a high-profile manner. Meng Xiaobai, enraged, challenges him to a life-or-death duel on the Skywalk platform, set for 1 month later. As fellow disciples, why are Fang Han and Meng Xiaobai so at odds? Interpreting the original classic, savoring human destiny. Hello everyone, I'm Apu Fatian Xin Hong from the Guiman, Chinese animation section. Welcome back to the Eternal Life original interpretation video. Picking up from last time, the 5 Elements Land Dungeon has ended. Fang Han returned to Yuhua Sect with Xingyun Baobao. Just as he entered the mountain gate, he discovered Meng Xiaobai cultivating with the help of the Kunping egg, causing a huge commotion. Yan judged that Meng Xiaobai must be cultivating the Mao I collection sound art, as such a massive intake would otherwise be impossible. This meant Meng Xiaobai would be a formidable opponent for Fang Han. Afterwards, Fang Han quietly returned to his reincarnation peak. In his single room, the demoness Fang Xiaolin and Princess Hongyi were sitting cross-legged, facing the speechless net ceiling, constantly breathing and exhaling. A pillar of fire floated in the middle of the ceiling, inside which a fingerless palm was burning. This was a chunk of flesh left by the demon god that Fang Han, along with Jialan and Fang Qingxue, had been refining for a long time but couldn't fully process. Fang Han asked why the earth fire was so small. Princess Hongyi explained, it's all because of Meng Xiaobai. This time, he's cultivating some unknown divine ability, constantly absorbing an immense amount of vital energy every moment. 99% of the earth fire essence, and even 99% of the true sun fire essence from the sky, has been absorbed by him and drawn to his own peak. Zheng Xiaobai truly disregards the lives of other disciples, only caring about his own cultivation. Fang Han responded, let's not worry about him for now. I'll first set up a few formations on the peak so others won't dare to trespass later. He then deployed the moon-concealing formation and formation diagrams he had obtained from Tsiyue Dao, setting them up to form a grand formation consisting of 1,000 bright moons and 81 precious swords. In addition, he refined the Ghost Emperor's set of 10,000 ghost orders into the Panga Great Strength Divine Ability, specifically the giant spirit Qi recorded in the scriptures. Countless strands of 10,000 ghost spirit Qi continuously transformed into giant spirit Qi, with a giant spirit god capable of residing on each strand. Ultimately, these all served as 2 great mountain-protecting formations. With this successful deployment, Reincarnation Peak became practically impregnable. Even masters of divine ability at the 9th or 10th layer would find it difficult to shake it. However, Fang Han's actions caused quite a stir, alarming all the disciples in Yuhua Sect. Many true disciples recognized the moon-concealing formation and the origin of the 10,000 ghost orders, making Fang Han immediately famous. Everyone knew that bringing home the treasures of Tsiyue Dao and the Ghost Emperor clearly meant Fang Han had killed them and seized their treasures. This was incredible. When had Fang Han become so powerful? Could he have truly obtained the 5 Elements Spirit Root? Wan Luo, in particular, roared in anger upon seeing the shocking aura emanating from Reincarnation Peak. Then, something even more shocking happened. A massive dark, fleshy palm, the demon god's palm, rose into the air, constantly wriggling. Fang Han rode the clouds and mist, standing in the sky, and roared, "Give it to the 5 elements." At this moment, his natal talisman rose into the air. 5-colored divine light instantly illuminated the entire Yuhua mountain, accompanied by streaks of auspicious clouds, propitious energy, and the sound of a great conch blowing and a great drum striking. This natal talisman struck the demon god's fleshy palm, which immediately exploded, turning into countless black blood rain that fell into the Wuyu King cauldron. No one knew what was happening with Fang Han, but with this act, he let the entire Yuhua Sect know that his natal talisman contained 55 great divine abilities. Jialan, Master Xiantai, and other true disciples like Wan Luo were all stunned. With a bang, the gate of the Skywalk Palace also opened, and Elder Tianqing flew out, looking at Fang Han's situation in the distance. He roared, blowing the great conch. striking the great drum. This is the potential to become an immortal. How long has it been since our Yuhua sect has produced such a talented disciple? In other words, as soon as Fang Han returned to the sect, the commotion he caused completely overshadowed Meng Xiaobai, and Yuhua sect immediately became famous. At this moment, Fang Han suddenly spoke. Fellow disciples, I, Fang Han, went to the barbarian god temple to search for the 5-element spirit root, and I did gain some spoils. Along the way, Xiyue Dao, Miexing Dao, and Zhuxian Dao, along with the Ghost Emperor, a traitor from the Yellow Springs demonic sect, came to ambush and kill me. Except for Zhuxian Dao, who escaped, everyone else was killed by me one by one. You all don't need to panic. All of the Ghost Emperor's magic treasures have been refined by me without a trace of demonic energy. If any fellow disciples are interested, I invite everyone to come and admire my reincarnation peak. As soon as he spoke, all the disciples in Yuhua sect, who were watching the show, were in an uproar. They believed Fang Han might really come to take down Hua Tiandu in the future. Jean Shirtai's father, Jean Riley, was also breaking out in a cold sweat at this moment. He used to have thoughts of causing trouble for Fang Han, but now, just thinking about it made him shudder, because he was only at the 5th layer of divine ability, natural mirror, and Fang Han could easily destroy him now. Haha, Fang Han is quite high profile. He clearly told other disciples, I'm just that capable. Do you want to follow me in the future? Of course, Fang Han refined treasures and created such a grand display to shock the sect, suppress Meng Xiaobai's arrogance, and establish his own authority. This was to make everyone in Yuhua sect value him and understand his worth and status. This way, if Tai sect were to exert pressure on Yuhua sect in the future, they wouldn't easily abandon or discard him. He was a treasure, and it wasn't over yet. Fang Han continued to showcase his high-level performance. With a shout, he cried, Azure Emperor would Emperor, transforming all things. Then, from the natal talisman above his head, a stream of verdant thunderclouds shot out, enveloping the entire reincarnation peak. With a clap of thunder from within the clouds, it began to pour sheets of verdant rainwater. Many spiritual herbs and medicinal fields originally planted on Reincarnation Peak burst forth with vitality. Patches of ginseng, lingzhi, snow lotus, poria, huangjing, hishou, gastrodia, and other herbs, which were originally young and not very potent, now exuded a vibrant essence after being watered by this rain. Under everyone's astonished gaze, the medicinal herbs swelled crazily one by one. Those ginseng roots, after absorbing the verdant rainwater, grew to be as thick as an arm, breathing continuously in the soil like infants. Suddenly, each ginseng root emitted a faint popping sound, as if undergoing a transformation. Wisps of white mist permeated from a ginseng root, gradually condensing into a white infant's phantom, running joyfully around its ginseng body and emitting a powerful medicinal aura. It has gained sentience. That ginseng has gained sentience, exclaimed a disciple observing from outside the mountain. This disciple, though only at the 2nd layer of divine ability, true Qi realm, with shallow magic power, possessed very sharp eyesight. Other disciples also shouted, the Azure Emperor would Emperor Palace is so powerful. It can actually, in a short period of time, catalyze a ginseng that would take 3 years to mature to gain sentience. This is truly incredible. Bang, bang, bang. Spiritual medicines were activated one by one, their medicinal qi highly condensed, undergoing transformation. All transformed into little humanoids. Some even included trees on the mountain, such as bamboo, nanmu, rosewood, and gold star peachwood, which also derived illusory human forms. For a time, the entire reincarnation peak was filled with medicinal qi and abundant vitality. However, because it was locked by the moon concealing formation and the giant spirit grand formation, not a single trace of vital energy leaked out. Thus, the vital energy and essence qi accumulated, gradually emitting a precious light. The disciples all saw that if one could cultivate within Reincarnation Peak, progress would surely be rapid. At this moment, what was a very barren Reincarnation Peak just a moment ago had now completely transformed into a blessed land. Some inner sect disciples had no doubt that if they cultivated there for 10 or 8 years, they could definitely ascend to the heavens and enter the divine ability realm. Haha, this seems even more powerful and formidable than old Devil Han's small green bottle. Hanli only ripened things drop by drop, and it took a long time for one drop to yield results. Fang Han, on the other hand, ripened things in large batches. Fang Han could endlessly refine pills without needing materials and also ripen spiritual plants and medicinal herbs in large quantities. Is there really no ancient giant from the demonic path who wants to capture him and make him do hard labor every day? After creating the blessed land, Fang Han looked around proudly, fixing his gaze on Meng Xiaobai's mountain peak. Is Fang Han going to deal with Meng Xiaobai? Many true disciples and elders who saw the scene wondered, knowing that Fang Han and Meng Xiaobai were at odds. Recently, rumors had subtly spread that Fang Han had once fought with Meng Xiaobai over a transaction in the Great Xian Empire. Haha, Fang Han. Don't get carried away. I'll let you have your moment today. In a month, I will have cultivated the heaven and earth Dharma idol, ascending to the 9th layer of divine ability. Then I'll see if your natal talisman, which has cultivated 55 divine abilities, is truly as weak as it seems. Suddenly, a burst of wild laughter came from Meng Xiaobai's mountain peak. Sword Qi, full of murderous intent, soared into the sky. Hearing Meng Xiaobai declare he could cultivate the divine ability 9th layer heaven and earth Dharma idol in a month and challenge Fang Han instantly made the entire Yuhua Sect's spectators boil over again, discussing nonstop. Several elders believed that if Fang Han won against Meng Xiaobai in a month, then for the next few hundred years, it would be him and Hua Tiandu competing for the position of sect leader. Fang Han swept his gaze around and said to Meng Xiaobai's mountain peak, "Good. I'll wait for you for a month. Let's see how powerful your cultivated Mao I collection sound art and your Kuanping, which has transformed into a half-human, half-demon monster, truly are." Meng Xiaobai's tone changed as he faintly replied, "Empty words are useless. In a month, the sword will show the truth." Immediately, all the sword Qi retracted, returning to his mountain peak, and he concealed his aura. Haha, the true disciples of Yuhua Sect are quite interesting. They constantly compete in showing off, and if there's a disagreement, it's a skywalk duel. But what is all this for? If it's to compete for the sect leader position in the future, isn't that still hundreds of years away? Why are they fighting now? The most crucial thing is, isn't their biggest rival Hua Tiandu? If they were truly planning ahead, they should first unite, take turns wearing down Hua Tiandu, and then compete against each other based on their own abilities. Hee, Fang Han revealed a cold smile. All the light converged into a beam, and he landed in his single room. This time, the momentum building was successful. Next, he just waited for himself to completely defeat Meng Xiaobai. Then, many disciples and elders in the sect would come to accept him and show him favor. Especially some elders, who must have seen his potential to contend for the sect leader position, would all come to curry favor with him. Planting a seed of friendship here, Yen said strangely. Fang Han, it's really strange, Yen continued. You caused such a huge commotion, yet Meng Xiaobai endured it steadfastly. Especially when you called him a half-human, half-demon monster. Given his personality, I'd expect him to strike down with a sword and directly fight you, regardless of the consequences. Fang Han replied, "That's nothing. He's diligently cultivating divine abilities, wanting to transform the Kuanping's life essence into his own heaven and earth Dharma idol and enter the 9th layer of divine ability. So even though he clearly knows I'm provoking him, he's temporarily enduring it. Once he cultivates the heaven and earth Dharma idol, that will be the day he fights me. Moreover, the more I insult him, the more he endures. He can use this accumulated resentment to transform into boundless killing intent. When it reaches its peak accumulation, it will suddenly erupt to kill me. In a month, he will definitely be able to cultivate the heaven and earth Dharma idol. I'm curious to see how powerful his Dharma idol, fused with the Kuanping's life essence, will be. But by the time he cultivates the heaven and earth Dharma idol, who knows how much I would have progressed by then. No more unnecessary talk." First, let Princess Hongyi and Fairy He enter the divine ability realm. Then we'll talk about the rest. Next, Fang Han mixed the blood rain transformed from the demon god's palm with his own Azure Emperor Wood Emperor Qi, refining it into wisps of pure vital energy. He channeled this energy into the bodies of Princess Hongyi and Fairy He. With the aid of this immense power, the human and the crane finally began to transform, entering the divine ability realm. Princess Hongyi entering the divine ability realm was fine, but after Fairy He entered the divine ability realm, she began to change. Each pure white feather emitted a brilliant light, and her entire crane body seemed to be vaporizing. Her exhalations of power, though not as grand as the Blackwater King Serpent's transformation that day, were not far off. Next, Fairy He only needed to endure the heavenly thunder strikes alone and survive, and she could shed her feathers and transform into human form. However, this was an extremely dangerous matter, and no one could help. As for Xingyun Baobao, after receiving the vital energy transformed from the demon god's flesh and comprehending the 20 kinds of star divine abilities of Miexing Dao with Fang Han, he finally saw the All-Stars Boundless Book, the supreme divine ability. A burst of qi suddenly differentiated, and he entered the 4th layer of divine ability, Yin-Yang Realm. The All-Stars Boundless Book, main divine ability, uses the power of all stars to evolve a boundless heavenly book. Its mysteries are extremely profound. Even the Chuanxing sect doesn't possess such a mysterious divine ability, and no one knows where Miexing Dao learned it from. Of course, Miexing Dao did not cultivate this divine ability to its highest realm. Fang Han initially didn't think this divine ability was that powerful, but when he comprehended the All-Stars Boundless Book with Xingyun Baobao, he found it to be truly profound and extensive, almost on par with the Martial Emperor's great demonic divine ability. Simply put, any spoils Fang Han obtained were never bad. Xingyun Baobao suddenly asked, the All-Stars Boundless Book, could it be the divine ability of the legendary Wuji Star Palace? After cultivating it to the highest realm, one can refine the stars in the vast starry sky and collect them into the book. Fang Han naturally hadn't heard of any Wuji Star Palace, so he asked, what kind of sect is that? Xingyun Baobao scratched his head and said, the Wuji Star Palace is not a sect in the Xianwang Great World. It's a huge sect from the depths of the distant starry sky. Its scale is enormous, perhaps even comparable to Tai sect. They are on par. But this is just a legend. A long time ago, their people once came to the Xianwang Great World. My father occasionally mentioned it back then, and I also found traces of this history in our Chuanxing sect's ancient texts. Yan interjected, Wuji Star Palace? I haven't heard of it. But a sect that can create the All-Stars Boundless Book, such a technique, must be incredibly terrifying. This Xianwang Great World is said to have 10 immortal sects, 7 demonic paths, 5 demon sects, and the underground demon race dominating it. But within the entire Xianwang Great World, there are also many hidden ancient masters and ancient giants residing in spatial rifts. These are all reclusive figures who go into seclusion for tens of thousands of years. Not to mention the depths of the distant starry sky, which undoubtedly hides countless mysteries and cultivators. Think about it, when we were in the Taiyuan Immortal Mansion, we encountered that mysterious person and the demon venerable sealed in the 5 elements land, and, even more, the master who sealed the demon venerable, who transformed his 5 fingers into the 5 elements spirit root. There are also countless outer heavenly demons. In the Xianwang Great World, there are some places even the Imperial Emperor is unwilling to go. In the future, when we travel around, we must be extra careful. Fang Han smiled. Meng Xiaobai will cultivate the divine ability 9th layer Heaven and Earth Dharma idol in a month. I need to sort out all my divine abilities and Dao arts again. By then, I'll have a lifelong grasp. This person is so confident, he must have some hidden killer moves. He shouldn't be underestimated. Then he took out the 6-eyed god sealing cup he obtained from Zhao Xuani. The 6 divine cups were covered with dense runes, and the eye in the center of each divine cup exuded mystery. Fang Han slowly channeled his magic power into it, but found that his magic power was strongly resisted by the divine cup. Startled, he suddenly flipped his hand and took out Zhao Xuani's golden core. He searched it carefully, discovering that Zhao Xuani's golden core contained 27 great divine abilities. Besides the Black Sun Wind, Great Sun, Fire Calamity, and other unique divine abilities, Fang Han also discovered a mysterious divine ability deep within the golden core's core. This divine ability seemed to take the form of an illuminated scroll, glimmering with golden light. Deep within Zhao Xuani's golden core, it formed the core of the entire golden core. How could this be? What kind of Dao art is this? Fang Han immediately became interested. He carefully comprehended it and gradually discovered some clues. This Dao art, which formed Zhao Xuani's natal golden core, was called the Great God Sealing Art. It absorbed 6 inexplicable strands of vital energy from the void, causing them to intertwine within the 6 viscera. Then it cultivated 6 strands of God-sealing qi, transforming into a great God-sealing formation, which had an immeasurable effect, even on ghosts and gods. It turned out that there were many kinds of vital energy in the void. Besides the 5 elements vital energy, essence of the sun and moon, dense starlight rays, and various original energies, there were also inexplicable vital energies leaking from various mysterious voids. Cultivating divine abilities meant collecting these vital energies, extracting the essence and discarding the dross, filtering out the harmful, and collecting the beneficial. Between heaven and earth, there are countless kinds of vital energy, with various collection methods, either by devouring, mental meditation, prayer and sensing, or by condensing magic power and so on. Now, the Great God Sealing Art uses a special collection method to collect 6 kinds of 5 elements vital energy from countless types of vital energy, cultivating the 5 viscera and 6 senses, sealing gods into the 6 viscera. Fang Han licked his lips, feeling that this comprehension had greatly benefited him. It was as if a new door to cultivation had opened, bringing him a step closer to eternal life. Yan, who was comprehending with Fang Han, also praised this divine ability endlessly. So the Great God Sealing Art is like this. This is the first time I've seen it today. I only knew this Dao art was a miraculous technique, but it turns out it doesn't use 5 elements vital energy as its framework, but rather cultivates 6 sets of God-sealing qi. This is indeed thought-provoking. It's a pity, Fang Han, Yan added, that your sea of corpses can no longer accommodate the power of a golden core. Otherwise, if you refine this golden core and obtain the Great God Sealing Art, your natal talisman would advance further, your 6 viscera would also be further refined, and your body would become even stronger. Your lifespan would also increase. Fang Han said, if I can't fuse it, then I'll just cultivate it anew. I'm very interested in this Great God Sealing Art. It would be good to use it to temper my body. Then he truly began to attempt cultivating it. Of course, this cultivation method couldn't be mastered immediately, but it allowed the God-sealing vital energy to combine with the 5 elements vital energy in his 5 viscera. This made Fang Han feel that the 5 viscera and 6 bowels in his body seemed to vaguely transform into a mysterious formation diagram, hiding many secrets of heaven and earth. In his heart, Fang Han immediately had an urge to go into seclusion and cultivate diligently. However, he had a battle with Meng Xiaobai in a month, so he could only temporarily stop. Then he flipped his hand and put away Zhao Xuani's golden core. He sprayed a trace of the newly cultivated God-sealing vital energy onto the 6 God-sealing cups. This time, the cups did not resist Fang Han's refinement. The eyes on them blinked, finally bearing some resemblance to Fang Han's eyes. Wherever Fang Han's eyes looked, these 6 strange eyes also looked. Fang Han looked at Yan, and in the pupils of the 6 eyes, Yan's form actually appeared. Yan shuddered all over and shouted, "Don't look at me. It's really uncomfortable being watched by these 6 eyes. I almost feel like I'm going to be imprisoned. These 6-eyed God-sealing cups are eerie." Immediately, Yan shook his body, emitting abyssal demonic qi to resist the prying of the 6-eyed God-sealing cups. For the next period, Fang Han spent every day refining Dao arts and comprehending profound mysteries. Meanwhile, The entire Yuhua sect was quiet, seemingly the calm before the storm. None of the elders or true disciples came to visit him, only Jialan and Long Xian came to ask for a few drops of oblivion water. Alright, Fang Han was very generous to outsiders, offering millions of yuan-ing pills at the drop of a hat. But when Sister Jialan and Long Xian came for oblivion water, how could he only give a few drops? Fang Qingxue didn't even come to find him, seemingly having truly entered seclusion on Zidian Peak. On Meng Xiaobai's mountain peak, terrifying auras emanated constantly. As for Hua Tiandu's mountain peak, it was still the same. This first true disciple of Yuhua sect had not returned from Tai sect. What exactly did Hua Tiandu go to Tai sect for? The next chapter will reveal the answer. More than 10 days passed, and it was very different from what Fang Han had imagined. He had originally thought that Tai sect would return to launch a massive punitive expedition, but there was no movement at all. It was as if Zhao Xuani and Song, the two renowned Golden Core masters whom he had killed, seemed to not exist at all. He was a bit confused. Of course, he hadn't seen the terrifying large hand that tried to destroy him when he traveled through the space-time tunnel from the Five Elements land to the Xianwang Great World, but was stopped by the ancient demon Venerable. Otherwise, he would definitely have guessed something. Clearly, someone was secretly protecting him. Otherwise, if he had killed someone from Tai sect, Fang Han would already be dead. However, Tai sect not exerting pressure did allow him to relax quite a bit. Every day, he comprehended various divine abilities, the All-Stars Boundless Book, the Great God-Sealing Art, and the Hanwu Great Strength Divine Ability. Especially his comprehension of star power had yielded considerable insights. Every night, many true disciples of Yuhua sect would see infinite magic power soaring into the sky on Reincarnation Peak, drawing in the abundant star power transmitted from the sky, reaching thousands of miles away. Actually, Fang Han didn't know that while he was cultivating peacefully, preparing to beat Meng Xiaobai like a dead dog a month later, and making full preparations, Yuhua sect had already held multiple meetings. This meeting would reveal a lot of information. How many ancient giants does Yuhua sect truly have? Who created the giant hand in the Five Elements land? Why isn't Tai sect bothering Fang Han? What exactly did Hua Tiandu go to Tai sect for? To know the answers, please listen to the next installment.